Hello, and welcome back to Little Clifty Homestead. Hi, my name is Shannon, and if this is your first time being here, welcome to my homestead. If this is your time coming back, if you've been here many times, welcome back to my home and my homestead. I'm so glad you come back to join me. Today we are doing beef stew. I love meals that I can and put on the shelf that are homegrown from my garden, and they are already cooked and prepared. This is a very simple recipe, very easy. The hardest part was waiting the 90 minutes for it to cook, but the rest of the time it was very good and very easy. So simple. So we are pressure canning this. If you've never pressure canned before, don't be scared. Pressure canners are not like they used to be. They're not like your grandma's pressure canner. They are so safe now if you just keep an eye on your pressure canner and just watch it. So right now I am trimming the fat. You do not want grease in there, as little grease as possible in your jars. So I am trimming the fat. I laid out 3 chuck roasts. They were anywhere from 2 to 4 pounds each. So they really weren't big enough to feed my family, because I fix a good supper and then we eat that leftovers for lunch the next day. So they wasn't going to do that. Like, they would have fed our family for supper, but they wouldn't have fed our family for supper and lunch. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and can these. I thought them out and I'm canning them. They'll make a good hot lunch if we do not, or a supper if I forget to lay something out, or a lunch when we come in from the farm and we need something good and hot and we want something good and warm. So I took my chuck roast, I trimmed the fat, and then I cubed them. You saw me cubing them, cut them up, and now I'm putting them in the jars. So what I'm doing is I have 7 jars. I wanted to make 7 jars of beef stew, so I'm equally putting the beef stew in each jar. I'm not measuring, I'm eyeballing. I measure with love and from my heart. Not a lot of times I don't measure from a cup or a spoon. But and y'all will see that as we go through this YouTube channel. But I'm going to equal out my beef stew to each jar of my 7 jars. I had my daughter helping me. You see me talking here. I had my daughter helping me. She was helping me cut up. So while I was doing the meat, she cut up the potatoes. She diced up potatoes. She diced up carrots, and she diced up some green sweet peppers that we had left over from the garden that I needed to use. And so we put some of those in a few of the jars. So that's all it is: meat, potatoes, carrots. You could do celery if you want to, but we just did meat, beets. Where did I get that at? We just did meat, potatoes, and carrots, and then a few with the sweet peppers. So I just filled them up equally. And then I diced my onions, and so you're going to see I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of onions in each one. This is your preference, whichever way you want to do it. I will link this recipe to I will link my website. Sorry. I will link my website, and the recipe will be on my website on my blog. So you can go over to my website and look at the blog, and you will find this recipe. This was so easy, y'all. I'm putting in salt now. You see, I will put salt, pepper, garlic powder, and then I'm putting some thyme in. Now, I will say that we done these 7 jars with the thyme, because that's what the recipe called for. It's very delicious, but we are not crazy about the thyme. So the other ones we done, we actually used Cracker Boy in it, and they were so much better. So from now on, that's what we're going to be using. or we're just going to leave it out. But it was still delicious. We actually already ate 3. Since I'm doing this voiceover here, we actually have already ate 3 of these jars, and they are so good. Now we're just going to take filtered water, and we are putting our water in the jars. We're just going to fill it up to about that inch. You want an inch headspace. I'm going to fill it up, and then we're going to take, you can take a chopstick, you can take anything. Be careful if you take a knife, but we are going to debubble the jars, and all that is just sticking that, I put that thing that I have there that came with my jar canning kit, but you can take a chopstick, you can take a knife or whatever, and you can poke it, and you want to get the air bubbles out. You don't want air bubbles in your jar, so you're just going to debubble. And see there, I'm debubbling the jars. And if you look, when I debubble them, the water will go down a little bit because you got that air out. And so my daughter is actually filling up the jars, finished filling it up, because we want that 1 inch headspace. And then she's going to wipe the rims of the jar with white vinegar, and then we're going to seal them and put them in the pressure canner. And yeah, don't look at my mess, because I make a mess on everything, and y'all will learn me very well because I am a messy cook. So we are going to put the 7 quarts of beef stew in the bottom of my pressure canner, and then I'm going to fill them up with water. Now you look at your pressure canner and see where the water level they recommend to go. Mine is 3 to 4 inches when we are doing it for 90 minutes, and I am pressure canning these at 10 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes because that's where my altitude says what for me to do. So I'm going to close them up, get that pressure gauge going, and when it gets up to 10 pounds of pressure, I'm going to set my timer for 90 minutes and let it go. Since we diced a bunch of carrots, we had a bunch of carrots left over. So we decided that we would get our second pressure canner out, and we would do some carrots. Now these were so easy also too. We just filled the jar up with carrots, water, and a teaspoon of salt, and then we put them in the canner at 10 pounds of pressure for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I will have to look, and I'll put it in the blog post also too. And we got several jars of cooked carrots, and they were so delicious. All you have to do is open a jar, put a little brown sugar, a little butter, warm them up, cook them, and you have a good side dish. There I am. I'm at 10 pounds of pressure. Now I've got my timer going. So there you are. That's easy as it could be. You turn your pressure canner off and you let it go down to 0, and let it sit there for a little while before you open up your pressure canner and open it up and let the jars out. And there you go. Thank you for watching at Little Clifty Homestead. Come back and visit us. Once a week, we try to get a video out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.